Message to you black Afrocentric scholars and fans and wannabes and all you people in the conscious community who claim to study black history or history. This is a repeated thing that's going on right now. I remember a time several years ago where a lot of people in the conscious community was claiming to be the Native Americans. And in the process of claiming to be Native Americans, they were disrespecting real Native Americans. They were calling them fake-ass $5 Indians. They was telling them, you ain't no Native American, you an implant. Just think if somebody done that to you. I mean, just think about it. And white folk, can anybody touch your culture, your history? Or you guys got upset. Okay, so you guys are doing the same thing. You guys just reversed it. Y'all was caught. You guys was insulting so many Latino, Mexican, and Native American, disrespecting their culture, trying to claim their culture, trying to steal their culture. And at one point, I'm gonna tell you how that went down. How many years ago was this? 3.5 years ago. Somebody asked me a question one time and said, hey, what do you think about Africans coming to America before Columbus? I said, you know what, I think maybe a ship or two may have got lost and people landed there and stuff like that. And then culture was born there. But it's just not a small amount of the population. Maybe, there's some groups of Africans in America. Latino guy came on the thread, tagged another black person who was conscious and up on it before me and said, such and such, is that true? And he said, nope. And this is a black guy I respected. At one time, I called him one of the smartest brothers on my page. So I had to wait. Then they started breaking some shit down. Then I changed. I wasn't claiming that the Native Americans back. I just said maybe a very small percentage got there on accident in their culture, But I never bought into it and was claiming the old Mexican thing. Okay, so after time goes by, I start friending a lot of these Latinos. A lot of them were like the Olmecs. You would call that Mesoamerican history. A lot of them were Mesoamerican scholars, knew their culture, their ancestors' history. And after a while, I thought about it. I said, God damn, they was kicking so much real shit. I said, how in the fuck am I listening to some confused black American tell me about Mesoamerican history? That's like, why would I go to what we call these master teachers, or these people in the black American community, to learn about the Shanghai dynasty? I mean, like, what are we doing here? If I want to know about the Shanghai dynasty, maybe I should go to the people who actually study the Shanghai dynasty history. Maybe if I want to learn about Chinese culture, maybe I should learn from a Chinese scholar. You know what I'm saying? See, I kick in and change quicker than other people, right? So I had developed a whole bunch of these people who are Latino and study Native American history, their ancestors' history. So one of my at this time, he was a good Afrocentric friend of mine. He come on my post bashing their ass, calling them all kind of shit. Disrespectful. I fell asleep, and this thread went on for hours. But this Afrocentric was insulting the Native American guy first. I mean, going hard at him, calling him fake, just saying you this and that, you racist bastard, was going at him. So the Native American scholar, no, it was a brother. But anyway, one of the brothers got mad at it and finally snapped back and talked about my Afrocentric friend's wife. I wasn't there, I was asleep. I wake up in the morning, 1,000 damn comments. So the Afrocentric dude get mad at me because it's on my post the argument went down and the guy insulted his wife. I said, wait a minute, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I didn't insult your wife. I wasn't even around. Me and the guy never been friends since. But it was a case of he was berating the Native American people, guys, and the Latinos, just bashing them. And when they snap back, all of a sudden now you guys are crying foul. They had, in my opinion, if some foreigners are talking about Samoans' culture, a Samoan has every fucking right to defend his history and his culture and his ancestors, by all means. Just like I have every right to defend some African culture, Ghanaian culture. So it's the same thing that has come around now with the Egyptians. I got some friends who are Egyptian now and Berber, like Amazigh people, like for real, and live there and understand the information great. They understand what Afrocentrics is doing. They're mad at Afrocentrics because Afrocentrics are calling them fake. They're immigrants to Egypt. They're not the original people. Them ain't your ancestors. And black folk in the conscious community is bashing these Arabs and bashing these Berbers, these Amazigh people, insulting them, racial theft. They're all, and when they snap back, all of a sudden they're the Amazigh people and the Berber people, and them scholars are racist. But you've been sitting here bashing their culture and trying to steal their culture and taking on their names and all kind of shit. How you got the audacity? It's the same thing recirculated. You guys got to stop stealing people's culture and claiming people's culture and taking on their names and then getting mad when they want to defend their own culture. They want to defend their own ancestors. And y'all is mad. This has gotten out of hand. It's sick. That's why I keep saying, you guys need to come on back home. Leave these people's shit alone and come on back home to West Africa. Right about now, after I make this video later on over the next few days, the Hotep hustle is over. I'm about to drop some serious information that I've been learning from people who actually are in the culture and who actually speak the language. You guys got to stop stealing other people's culture and be proud West Central Africans. And worry about your own shit. You're Black Americans now. You're African Americans now. But you're distant descendants of West Central African peoples. That's your bloodline. Focus on your shit a little more. And get out of everybody else's shit. Because on the world stage of academia, y'all making black folk look bad, destitute, thirsty, unhappy, low self-esteem of your own shit. You're making us look bad at this point. At some point, you guys got to say, you know what? I'm correct myself. I'm going to do like Chief X did in Evolve. I'm going to intellectually mature and evolve like Chief X did. And I don't care whose feelings are hurt. I'm sick of it. People are realizing now that this Black ancient Egypt is a bunch of hogwash. And I will clarify later with another video. So, these Native American scholars, the Latinos, and the Egyptians and Amazigh people are being censored from having discussions because Afrocentrics don't want them a part of their own discussions in their countries. They don't want people to know that we have been wrong and we have been rabid racists, stealing other people's culture and insulting them and disrespecting them in the process of attempting to usurp another people's culture. I told you when at the end of 2020, I said 2021 is going to be the year of big feelings. And guess what? Everybody's in their feelings right now. This Nubia and Egypt thing, this ancient Egypt, who were they thing, is coming to a head. Just like the Native American thing came to a head and we stopped fucking around. Just like the Moorish thing came to a head and we stopped claiming that. It's time for Egypt now. It's time for you listening to me to evolve. That is not black people's ancient history. West Central Africa is your history. That's just another African civilization of many. And a white African, not white as in what you guys think, European, but sometimes I just use black Africa, white Africa, because North Africa is not black Africa. So I just choose sometimes to use the word white, but I don't mean white in the sense of a man from England and Germany and stuff like that. So calm the fuck down. So I'm just using standard terms. There's black Africa and there's non-black Africa. Non-black Africa is North Africa. North Africa has never, ever been black Africa, but it's Africa the same. A blue-eyed, pale-skinned Algerian is an African, just the same as Nelson Mandela's an African. There's no difference. They're both peoples are indigenous to Africa, just different parts of Africa. All Africa is not black Africa. And when we come to that understanding, we will all be better off. Chief X ain't playing with y'all. What I said I was going to do is going to happen. By the end of this year, I will have flipped, like I have many times, many people. People were saying we're the Moors, and guess who cleaned that up? And why people don't say it no more? Chief X. Single-handedly. Because everybody was looking at Sarah Seti videos when he was talking about the Moors, and the Moors with the cone hat, with the fez hats and the tassel, he was claiming them to be Moors. Then you had the Moorish Americans with the fez and the tassel, and they claimed to be Moors. So everybody thought that fez and the tassel was Moors. They thought anybody they seen in history with the fez was a Moor. No. Those were the Ascari that Sarah said he was showing. When he was having wars, Mussolini, and said he was showing them all shooting in the fields and shit and stuff with the cone hats, those were the Ascari. And those are colonial police forces who fight for the colonial Europeans when they chopped up Africa. Those black people with the fez hats on that Sarah Seti was showing were not Moors. Those were Ascari. And I'm the only one who single-handedly brought that out. And the entire conscious community has changed now. Now they know that they were the Ascari, that they weren't Moors. Now the conscious community knows that the Moors were not us either. I had to clean that up. I'm the cleanup man, and I'm hated for it. Sub-Saharan Africans, black, kinky-haired Africans had nothing to do with conquering Spain, the Iberian Peninsula. Arabs did that. Go look up who conquered the Iberian Peninsula in Spain. It'll clearly tell you Arab dynasties. Not your black ass. You are not the Moor. You were never the Moor. And if you don't think so, I did a cold-blooded presentation on it on my timeline. You were a slave of the North African Moor. That's who you were. And if you see any dark black Tuareg, any black person up there in North Africa as a Muslim, call himself a Moor, are you thinking they're a Moor? No, they're the slave of the real white Moor. A Moor is a North African, let me be clearer. A Moor is a Northwest African Muslim. mainly Berber and Arab. Not you. You can easily look that up. I single-handedly corrected that information. Chakras, kundalini, crystals, all that old bullshit. I single-handedly corrected all that shit in pseudoscience also. I can show anyone a date that predates anyone in the community talking about these things and correcting these things. Chief X did it first. People were scared to talk to Dr. Sebi about his bullshit and lies and pseudoscience. Chief X was the first to debunk Sebi's bullshit and get you niggas back on track. You don't remember when I tell you I was an alkaline salesman, water salesman for Kangen water? Before you guys was even talking about alkalinity? Before alkaline talk, I was a Kangen water salesman. Alkaline water out the machine. I was a salesman. I had business cards. You remember that shit? That was 15 years ago before you guys even got talking about alkalinity. That's why I knew Sebi was jiving before anyone did. I was already hip because I was already scammed by this alkaline bullshit talk. And I found out the people who were selling alkaline water was full of shit, claiming it can do all these things and shit to you. Then I went on Seb. No one can predate me debunking Sebi's information. You guys were scared to talk about anybody who you considered some master. Until I went in on Phil Valentine, then that opened the floodgates. Oh, now you guys can talk about Phil Valentine and Dr. Sebi, because you guys were scared as chicken at first. Now everybody's talking about Phil Valentine and how he's a bullshitter. I had to break you niggas. They was playing my video everywhere and sharing around. This shit got fucking 15,000, 16,000 views right now. Because Chief X had to break you like a horse. Because I'm a real one.